My name is Sarah Bennett. I'm 32 and I run programs for Hope Rising, a small nonprofit in Brooklyn that provides job training for at-risk youth. 3 weeks ago, I thought I had my life figured out, a job I loved, a cozy one-bedroom apartment in Park Slope, and a fiancé, Ethan Caldwell, who I believed was my partner in every sense. We'd been together 3 years, engaged for 6 months, planning a spring wedding. I'd saved a $25,000 in a high-yield savings account over 5 years, scraping together every bonus from my $62,000 salary and freelance grant, writing gigs. That money was our future, the wedding, a honeymoon in Greece, maybe a down payment on a fixer-upper in bed, Stowe. Then Ethan sent a text that shattered everything. It was a Tuesday, 2004, 7 p.m. I was leading a Resume, building workshop for teens at Hope Rising, my phone on silent in my pocket. After the session, I checked it and saw Ethan's message, "Hey babe, used a $25K from your savings for the charity. It's a good cause. We'll make it back. Love you." My heart stopped. I read it again, my fingers cold against the phone. My savings. The account I'd shown him last year when we were planning our wedding budget. I hadn't given him access, but he knew my laptop password. I'd logged in countless times with him beside me, dreaming over coffee in our tiny kitchen. I stepped into the nonprofit's break room, my mind racing. I called First Republic Bank and spoke to Maria, a customer service rep. Ms. Bennett. A $25,000 transfer was processed this morning at 9:12 a.m. to an account registered to Ethan Caldwell. It was authorized via your online banking credentials. My voice shook as I said I hadn't approved it. Maria's tone turned serious. "I'll transfer you to our fraud team." For 4 to 5 minutes, I sat in that cramped break room, explaining to Raj, a fraud specialist, that my fiancé had accessed my account without permission. They flagged the transfer as disputed, but needed a police report to escalate. The login came from your home IP address, and the security questions were correct, Raj said. "This complicates things, but will freeze the receiving account pending investigation." I left work early, telling my boss, Aisha, I had a personal emergency. She gave me a concerned nod. I drove to the NYPD's 78th precinct, hands trembling on the wheel. Officer O'Malley, gruff and middle-aged, handed me forms. I detailed everything: Ethan's text, the unauthorized transfer, how he knew my passwords from our shared life. I attached a screenshot of his message, emailed to myself for evidence. O'Malley read it and snorted. He says, "Good cause, like it's pocket change." I nodded, throat tight. "Save everything," he said. "A detective will call." Back at our apartment, I moved fast. Ethan was at a charity meeting until 8 p.m. I packed a suitcase of clothes for a week, my laptop, chargers, passport, and a folder with my financial documents. I grabbed my external hard drive with work files and photos, including our engagement pics from last summer's Catskills trip. I looked at our living room, the thrifted couch we'd reupholstered, the flea market art. It felt like a stranger's home. I checked into a Holiday Inn in downtown Brooklyn, paid for a week up front, and sat on the stiff hotel bed. Ethan texted at 7:32 p.m. picking up pizza. "Want your usual pepperoni?" I replied, "Good to know." 3 words, cold and final. He called within minutes. I declined. He called 5 more times in 20 minutes. By 9 p.m., he'd left 3 voicemails. I listened later, lying in the dark hotel room. First, 7:48 p.m. Mia. "Sarah, where are you?" "The apartment's empty. I got pizza." Second, 18:15 p.m. Thai. "Okay, you're mad about the money. Can we talk?" "It's for the charity, babe. You've got plenty saved. Call me." Third, 8C42 PMI. "This is ridiculous. We're engaged. I made a call for us. Stop acting like I stole something." "Come home?" I didn't respond. I created a laptop folder. Ethan evidence, screenshots of texts, voicemail transcriptions, bank statements showing my 25,000 balance before the transfer. I wrote a timeline when I'd shown Ethan the account, when he texted. When I called the bank, if this went legal, I'd be ready. Wednesday morning, Raj called. They'd frozen Ethan's account, a Chase business account for Caldwell Community Fund, the charity he claimed to run. The 25,000 was locked, untouchable until the investigation cleared. I thanked Raj and tried to focus on work, guiding teens through mock interviews. At 10 a.m., Detective Carla Torres from the Financial Crimes Unit called, her voice sharp and professional. Ms. Bennett, bring your evidence to the station today. Texts, voicemails, bank records. I took a half day, telling Aisha I needed to handle a personal matter. At the station, Torres, a no-nonsense woman in her 40s, recorded my statement. I explained our relationship, the savings account, Ethan's text, the transfer. Did you give him permission to access the funds? She asked. Never, I said. He knew my password because we lived together. Torres nodded. Given the amount, this could be felony theft. I'll contact Mr. Caldwell today. Be prepared. This might get messy. Back at the hotel, I checked my phone. 19 missed calls from Ethan. 28 texts escalating from confusion to anger to panic. Sarah, why is my account frozen? What did you do? I'm your fiancé? Then, I can't pay my vendors. You're ruining the charity. I texted back, you took 25,000 without asking. That's theft. I reported it to the police and bank. He called instantly. I answered, recording on my voice memo app. Theft, he shouted. Sarah, I'm building something for us. The charity needed funds to secure a grant. I was going to pay you back. You didn't ask Ethan. You took my savings. I was desperate. The charity's my life's work. You, of all people, should get that. My savings were my work. 5 years of it. You had no right. I thought we were partners. I thought you trusted me. Partners communicate. They don't steal. He begged me to drop the report, promised to repay it. I hung up, my chest tight. I'd loved him, planned a life with him. Now, I didn't know who he was. Wednesday afternoon, Torres called. Ethan had been questioned at his office, an open, planned co-working space in Dumbo. His coworkers overheard him say, I didn't steal. She's my fiancée. I was borrowing. The news spread fast. My friend Rachel, who works at a partner nonprofit, texted, heard Ethan's in trouble. Everyone's talking about a fraud investigation. You okay? I replied, not okay, but handling it. At 4 p.m., Ethan called, hysterical, Sarah. Everyone at work knows? My reputation's shot. You did this over 25 hours on. You did this, I said. You made choices logging in, transferring the money, texting me after. Those aren't mistakes. You're destroying my life. You destroyed my trust. He hung up. That night, I got texts from mutual friends. Some, like Jake, sided with Ethan calling the cops on your fiancé. Harsh Sarah. Others, like Rachel, supported me. He crossed a line. You don't deserve this. Thursday morning, Torres called with a bombshell. The Caldwell Community Fund was under investigation, not just for my 25,000, but for suspicious transactions totaling 100,000. Ethan had been funneling money through the charity to cover debts from a failed real estate side hustle. His claiming the 25,000 was a donation, Torres said, but your report and text evidence contradict that. His lawyer is advising him to return the funds to avoid charges. By 3 p.m., First Republic emailed, 25,000 was back in my account. I logged in, saw the balance restored, but felt no relief. Something inside me had broken. Rachel met me for coffee that evening. She dropped another bombshell. 3 months ago, Ethan had asked her nonprofit for a 10,000 grant. claiming it was for community outreach. She denied it, suspecting his paperwork was shady. "I told him to be honest with you about his finances," she said. "He swore he had it under control." I realized Ethan had been hiding a debt spiral, 70,000 across credit cards and loans, per Torres's investigation. He'd never told me, despite our shared life, our shared dreams. Friday, Torres called. "The funds are back. You can press charges, but the DA will consider your wishes." "What do you want?" I sat in my hotel room, extended another week. Part of me wanted Ethan to face a courtroom. He'd violated my trust in the deepest way, but I was exhausted. The money was safe. I'd changed my passwords, enabled two-factor authentication, and moved my documents to an encrypted cloud. "I need the weekend," I told Torres. She agreed. Saturday, I coordinated with Ethan via text to ensure he'd be out of the apartment. He was visiting his brother in Queens. I hired movers from TaskRabbit and packed my things, clothes, books, my vintage record player, kitchenware I'd bought. It took 5 hours. I left Ethan's stuff untouched, left my key on the counter with a note, "I'm off the lease." Talked to the landlord. As I loaded the last box, Ethan's car pulled up. He wasn't supposed to be back. We stood 10 feet apart in the parking lot. He looked wrecked, unshaven, eyes bloodshot. "So that's it," he said. 3 years, Sarah!" "You stole from me," I said. "You chose money over honesty. I was saving the charity. I thought you'd understand. I understand you lied. For months, maybe years." He teared up. "I love you. I made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting my coffee order." This was a betrayal. I drove away, his silhouette in my rearview mirror. 3 weeks later, I decided not to press charges. Torres closed the case, funds recovered. I moved into a studio in Greenpoint, smaller but mine. My savings are growing again. I've upped my contributions since I'm not splitting rent. Hope Rising's thriving, and I'm mentoring a new teen cohort. Ethan lost his co-working space contract. His charity collapsed under scrutiny. Rachel says he's back in Queens, working odd jobs, drowning in debt. I feel a pang of pity. He was my fiancé, after all. But then I remember his text, "It's a good cause," and the cold calculation of him logging into my account while I was teaching kids. Trust doesn't heal from that. It scars.